We are the Flipper Flix. Welcome to the pod. We're not professional and we got a show today. I am Adam.
I can't do it.
And she is Sam. Tim's got the synopsis of Mortal Engines.
Whoa!
I have the synopsis.
Tim didn't even laugh.
I did laugh.
Been watching too much
I
Mighty
did.
Ducks.
He was still singing. Oh shoot. So Mortal Engines. A young woman sets out to stop an all-consuming city on wheels in a post-apocalyptic future world in this eye-popping fantasy epic. That's another annoying sentence to read.
You always get
Let's
those.
see. I do always get those because it says city on wheels in a post-apocalyptic future world in this I feel like there's some punctuation missing or something, but I'm not that great at English, so I don't know.
We don't English no good, even though that's the only language we know.
Yeah. Let's see, IMDb gave it a 6.1 out of 10.
Wow.
And then Rotten Tomatoes the tomato meter is 26% and audience score is 49.
Ooh.
So preliminary before going into it. Didn't do too well, I guess. It is a box office bust, so.
Indeed.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. This one only busted for, it lost roughly $174.8 million.
Yeah, not a big deal.
You know, it's just nothing in Jeff Bezos' pocket, but he wasn't involved with this movie, so I don't know why I'm bringing that up.
Throw him under
This
the
was
bus
the
for no
largest bust in 2018.
Wow.
And one of the largest busts of all time.
Really?
Yep,
Yeah,
I didn't look up which
surprising.
was, but it's like John Carter.
Well, maybe eventually we'll see it.
I'm
Dawn,
sure we
dawn,
will.
dawn. But yeah, so
Probably next week after the repeat.
Yeah, because we're gonna get a repeat. So we ended up watching this on Cinemax.
Yes.
Fun little story. When we were deciding to watch it last week, we were like, okay, it's on HBO. We're good to go. Get a text from 1 a.m. Hey, so it's not on HBO. It's on Cinemax now.
Yep. That was
Sweet.
weird.
It was very odd.
So what we recommend is that free trial.
Woo.
'Cause that's what we did.
Yeah, we went through our Hulu app and got a free trial, and I don't know how much longer it's gonna last.
Well, maybe this next movie we can use Cinemax while we still
Oh,
have
that's
it.
true. We got
Pick
7
Cinemax if we get
days.
category. Oh, shoot.
But yeah, so Tim, you never saw a trailer for it. Sam and I did in the theaters.
Right.
Well, you said you might have seen a trailer. Just it's been
I probably did back
2
in
years.
the day,
Back in the 2
but
years
I
ago.
hadn't seen movies in theaters in a long time, or I don't see them as much as I used to.
The good old days.
But this was definitely. I remember seeing something about this, and I remembered I wanted to see it, and I
'Cause it looks
completely
so
forgot about it until we watched
ridiculous.
it now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Sam knew I wanted to see it, kind of.
Yeah.
It was produced by Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have a very soft spot for him because
Mhm.
Lord of the Rings
Mm-hmm.
is my version of the truth.
And
Mhm.
you like Lord Elrond, who's also in there.
Oh, I am a big Hugo Weaving fan.
Oh yes.
My boy.
You're too
Well,
ridiculous.
not my boy, but I guess he's a lot older than me.
Yeah, he's pretty old.
Yeah. But yeah, so initial thoughts, Sam, what'd you think? Not what'd you think? What'd you think going in?
Going into it, I remember seeing the trailers, and I wanted to see it, but not like
I wanted to
heavily.
see it.
Yeah, and so I can't say that I'm shocked that we didn't see it in theaters, but the first couple of scenes when it was rolling across, spoiler alert.
Spoilers!
I was kind of bummed I didn't see it in Dolby because it would have been dope.
Yeah, this movie, it's honestly probably one that should be seen in a nice sound system going on.
Yeah, which
Right.
it's not like ours is crap, but I was like, oh, missed opportunity. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to see it, but not that
We're
much.
dying to see
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
if
you
I missed
weren't.
it, I missed it.
Yeah, it wasn't like
Yeah.
life or death.
Yeah, so I have proved myself a liar because a couple episodes in, I said I've not really been met about a movie. Lols. I was met about this movie.
Yeah, I wanted to see it, but I had my reasons, and I think we didn't see it because it did so poorly with the ratings.
Could have been.
Thanks, critics. We didn't give Peter Jackson our money.
Sorry, Peter Jackson.
Sorry, Peter Jackson. I
But
still have faith in you.
maybe you got money through Cinemax. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
And Tim, what were your initial thoughts?
I was pumped.
You were pumped?
This was right up my alley. Steampunk style,
Post-apocalyptic.
post-apocalyptic. Yeah, I was ready for it. And I hadn't watched the trailer. I didn't really even read the synopsis. I just clicked and went.
He was like, and go.
Yep. And then, like, even in the first minute or two, it got me super hyped.
Dude, I gotta
the
s-
voice and, like, the setup for it. I was
Yeah.
like, yes!
What type of auto-tune was that? And was that
I don't
Shrike?
know. I thought it was at the end. I was
yeah,
like, oh, that
like-
could be Shrike, but
After he was
But I'm
talking
not
and like
sure.
doing his flashback, I was like,
yeah,
it's probably Shrike at the beginning because nobody else has this weird voice.
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely
My
was not Lord
expectation
Mayor.
was like, I guess it was a box office bust, so this was probably a wrong expectation of me. But I was like, this could be another sort of Mad Max Waterworld situation. See if they did it well. But anyway,
Mad Max was potentially like people kind of think that that's what they expected from like he drew his themes, the author of the book. So it's based off a book series of 4, which Peter Jackson wanted to make all 4 of them.
Okay, but
I can see.
I don't think he's getting this.
yeah, I was like, I guess that means he's not.
He said he missed an opportunity on making a video game for this, and he said if it does well enough, this was 2 months before the movie premiered. If it does well enough, he wants to do a sequel and then make a video game with it.
Oh man, you guys missed out on the video game.
Honestly, that I was thinking that the whole time watching this. I was like, this would be a dope game.
Like some open world sort of shenanigans.
It's funny though because the new game Last Oasis is kind of like this.
Oh, not played it.
Just not with like, yeah, it's just not with like same technology and stuff, but it has this very similar feel to this.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Wait, so can you position this movie in time for me? It's 2018. When did Fury Road come out? I think a couple years before that, right?
Fury Road, Mad Max,
Fury Road, the remake or continuation, whatever. it
Around the same time, I feel like.
2017, I want to say.
was. Yeah. So I mean, maybe that's why
They had the similar feel.
they had a similar feel, but this one's different. than
There's
that
no
one.
Thunderdome.
Well, I think it had a lot to do with just like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
The technology is steampunk or like just kind of out there and it works, but you're like, okay.
You could tell it was a book because they had all of these
Yeah.
characters and they kept like they seemed like they were going to go in on them and then suddenly new scene and I'm like
There were a lot of ideas that were unfinished, yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. So I'm like I was honestly thinking I was like this could be a bomb ass TV series
Yeah,
Mhm.
I could see that.
because they could have actually fleshed out the characters. Like, can you imagine Shrike's character? Like, they did a whole episode about how the upbringing of
Yeah.
little old Hester. I called her Esther the whole movie. Her name is Hester. That H was not apparent to me.
Okay, it was to be. But I did, since you're bringing this up, I did really like Shrike's character. So
Mhm.
I think of all the characters, like, they did him, well, I don't know because I didn't read the books, but they did him a nice justice to me. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like his story was, you got it. You know what I mean? But, like,
You understood it. You connected with it. Yeah.
And I really do believe, like, if it was a show, you would have been like Sam would have been bawling during that scene
probably.
Yeah.
up in the airship, which
Yeah.
again, spoilers. Yeah, it was kind of cool. Like when he's in like the jail cell. First off, I was like, Lemony Snicket. Like, are they on like the house that's over a cliff going on here?
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, or like what is it, Camino in Star Wars Episode 2.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling out random movies and shows and stuff. Come on, Sam. Gotta keep up. But he's just like, I'm like, the Lazarus Project. Then you see his face and eyes. I'm like, is he like a cyborg pirate zombie?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure.
I thought he was going to be like a leper, like from Lazarus in the Bible.
Oh.
But he wasn't that either. So
Yeah.
He was like a cyborg, so, and technically kind of a zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had to die to become one.
Mhm.
I've got a lot of random quotes written down.
Mhm.
One of them was, shoot, where you're going to kill me for a little while.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, God.
Solid.
Yeah.
Well, since we already kind of brought it up, I really loved his, I guess you can call it a redemption arc, or
Mhm.
the scene on
The airship.
the airship balloon thing.
Air,
Right.
Air City.
Harrison.
I actually didn't catch the name, but that's what it was.
Yeah. Where they have like a heartwarming moment, and she's like, "No, you can't kill Tom," and he just like breaks basically, and I don't know. I mean,
Like-
I didn't cry, but if that scene would have been a little longer, I probably would have.
Like I said, if his
Yeah.
whole character fleshed out in a show.
Yeah, if he was,
Yeah, so I really liked that part, and
Me too.
his whole situation, because he comes out as like a badass who's gonna kill her, and then you're worried for her. Then you find out he raises her, which is really nice, and he's like really sweet with her. Oh, it's a good character.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great because like it shows him as like this almost like a Terminator, but like
Oh yes.
they just come, he just goes, they get their target, and they kill it, and they're done. They move on. Because he even mentions like you get a mind wipe and stuff when it happens and everything, but you could tell he still had something because she's like he remembered his kid or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
And so he
sad.
starts, I love that character. I think he was awesome.
Well, you can see like where history rewrote itself, sort of deal. Where like when Tom is talking about the other robot cyborg zombie things,
Mm-hmm.
he was just like, "Oh yeah, no, they're killing machines," and she's like, "You don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah.
I was wondering because he's like a historian, sort of shenanigans.
Yeah. So let's chat about Tom.
Tom, I want to start with Tom's haircut. Just looked inappropriate on his head, and then I saw a real picture of him. He's got curly hair, like not just like curly cute, like straight up like curls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I looked awkward.
Yeah, it's probably a wig.
Well, that's a good catch, but that is not what I was going to say. So I would say, let's start with the fact that Tom was supposed to be an aviator, right? But then he's not because his parents die, right? And then when he goes to, first off, this, rebel lady, what was her name? Anna Fang?
Anna Fang.
Anna
or
Fang.
Windflower.
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 They meet up with her, which we'll come back to that. But and she gives him control of the ship, and he makes like a flawless landing. Like, bro is a historian.
He said he went to school for aviation.
Yeah, he did go to aviation school.
But when his
But
parents
how
died,
long ago was that?
well, he's not that old.
Okay.
So assume he's
like
25.
With those things, I
Is
feel like because they're not straight up.
It's like riding a bike.
That's what
Those
you
ones,
said.
like the controls and stuff, like you don't have all these knobs and whatnot. You just got these two little things that you control it with. I feel like those style of ships wouldn't be too hard to fly.
It's not the hardest thing to fly.
Okay,
No.
you guys are giving Tom too much credit.
Tom
in
and
my
his
opinion.
Tom and his aviation jacket.
I can't say I liked Tom's character, but I can say that part is probably, yeah.
And then my other beef with Tom. So I've made a hamburger at this point.
We're like, I don't even know. We're barely into this. Beef started.
Beef with Tom is when, okay, so he says he's a historian, right? And then he comes out of London because he got pooped out London's butt with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're, I guess, on the run or just like trying to figure out how to, he's trying to get back, but she's trying to get away, yada yada, hooty hotty. And they're like in the trenches or whatever, and she whips out a Twinkie, and he, and he like doesn't know what it is.
Right.
He just knows that it's like 1,000 years old, which, okay, credit, he has, but he only knows it's 1,000 years old because he's read the freaking wrapper.
Yeah.
I was like, why
he
don't
didn't know
you
what
know
it was?
this is?
Yeah.
I also
Come on now.
really loved that it was a Twinkie.
Yes.
Simply because
Yes.
the running joke that the two things, what is it? The three
Right.
things that'll survive: cockroaches, Twinkies, and what is it? Spam?
It might be
Something like
spam, yeah.
Yeah, that'll just survive forever.
Well, it's funny because she called them Inkies because the T was rubbed
Yep,
off.
I noticed that. I was like, oh.
I didn't notice
That
that.
was
That's
great.
great.
Oh, Tom. Tom is...
The ancients' food doesn't go bad. Oh, okay.
We had so many preservatives in the 21st century that everything is good forever.
Yes. And we are ancient ones, so that's pretty cool.
We are
I don't
the
know
ancient
if ancients
ones.
fit. I don't feel like I feel like another word would have been better than ancient, but because they definitely know we destroyed the world and everything. I feel like, I don't know, predecessors would be a better word.
With the,
Ancient almost has like a, not a godly feel to it, but like a good, like it's like good, right? Like ancient almost seems like, I don't know, there's something to prosper from their world, but yet we destroyed ours, so I don't understand. ancient to me was a weird term. For
Would
them
you
to use,
think
but-
the ancient Egyptians would agree with what you're saying about us? Would you think they'd say that about themselves? Because we call them the ancient Egyptians, and they aren't 1,000 years old.
Yeah, but I think in their culture it makes sense.
No, I know.
And but like for us, because they didn't. I mean, sure they had some issues.
There were a
But,
couple issues there, yes.
yeah.
Some would not probably think that they were godly.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, there was a lot to
I
learn from
know.
them, and they didn't destroy everything, and
Like
you know what
pyramids.
I mean. Yeah.
Because there's a guy, they built pyramids so big that there's a guy that started taking one down, quit halfway through because it took him 4 years just to get halfway. He's like, I'm
Yeah.
done with this.
There you go.
At that point, why wouldn't you just commit? Like,
I know.
You already wasted 4 years of your life.
Because he made it halfway down the pyramid, which doesn't mean he's halfway done.
That's true.
right?
Because the base is so big.
Hefty.
But aliens,
But-
guys. Those are definitely aliens in the ancient pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree that ancient, at its core, the word can just mean like old, right? But
Mm-hmm.
because of so many movies, it has like this wise connotation. Like
Yes.
the ancient one from, what's it called?
Doctor Strange.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
I wanted to say Stranger Things, and I'm like, nope, not
Doctor
right.
Stranger Things.
Doctor Stranger Things.
He could fit in that world.
So yeah, so I thought that was a little bit odd as well, because like, what did we bring to their world? Some toasters and like.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I have like
Toaster.
I have like a few lines that I just want to be like out of context lines. Automatic bread ejection.
Yeah.
Prepare to ingest.
Yes.
Me, I'm the meteor. And then I gotta go. I'm late for church.
You would think this movie is about a lot different.
I know.
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed writing these out of context lines, like these lines out of context that
Yeah.
make absolutely no sense.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
So coming back to
The ancient
London,
one.
though. Yeah, no.
London.
London. I was like, so it pans over to London, and Hugo Weaving's like right there, and I'm like, yes. But
Using a telescope, which
yeah. But then the chick is like looking at him, and then she pulls a knife out of somewhere, and then puts it in her boot. Was it in her boot already? Because I thought it was very odd that she pulled this knife out
I
of like
had
a
no
bag,
idea. Yeah, she pulled it out of a
and
bag.
then puts it in her boot. I'm like, why was that just not already in your boot? But anyway,
Yeah.
That was very confusing at first, and then she put it in her sleeve.
yeah, she did later on. And then it goes to I don't know whatever conversation they were having, and the all the historians or whatever, and then the one person's like, "The American deities," and they're the minions.
Oh yeah. So interesting little fact about that. In the
That's
book,
great.
it was originally supposed to be Mickey and Pluto.
Oh.
Now, Sam, why would it not be Mickey and Pluto?
Copyright?
Well, because it was a Universal picture.
Yeah.
Universal's
Can't
gonna
do that.
use Universal stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I
true.
mean,
Yeah.
who's to say that the minions aren't American deities? Like, have
I
you
mean,
seen the minion culture? Come
oh,
on.
this is
Come
true.
on.
That's
What if
true.
they thought that's what the ancient ones
Look
looked like?
Yes.
Oh, that'd
Yeah.
be great.
I loved that because, well, right before that, he had been saying, what did he say? Like, oh, I really hate these, like, tremors or vibrations because the ceramics hall is, like, you know, crumbling and having a mess. And then they're all really
Yeah.
worried about the minions. Like, there wasn't anything
know.
better. Or maybe it had all broken at that point, so that was all that was
Right.
left.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was good. I liked it.
Well, and then so then it goes to like Tom,
Oh,
and
Tom.
I can't remember the girl's name,
Kate?
I have
but he's
no
talking
idea.
to her.
Her name is Kate.
Kate. That's
Or
right.
Okay.
Catherine.
A character
Catherine.
they didn't flesh out, but continue.
Yeah.
I still think that she's fleshed out in the other books. Same with his like weird
Probably.
random friend, Beavis.
That is
I
not his
don't know that
name.
was his friend.
That
yeah,
well, they
no, I
grew
did
up in
the
the
same
slums
thing.
together, I assume.
He called him Bevis, and I was like, no, that's Beavis.
He called him Bevis?
Yeah, he called him Bevis.
Oh, I wrote down Beavis. Oh, it's Bevis.
Yeah, I know. And I said, that's Beavis, not Bevis. And he calls him Bevis in the movie.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I didn't catch his name.
He
Oh,
literally
man.
calls him Bevis. And I was like, what?
Oh,
You're saying
man.
it wrong.
Anywho, back to Kate.
But
Back to
Yeah,
Kate.
so he's in there with Kate, and he like shows her this secret stuff that he has hidden away.
Yes.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna destroy it all. It's bad. Blah blah blah." I'm like, okay, first of all, you have all of this stuff, tons of it, hidden away, and you randomly told this chick about it.
Yeah.
For what reason?
Yeah, like
If you're gonna destroy it all, why did you tell anyone?
Yeah.
What was the point? The whole point of having that stuff hidden away. You don't know who was taking it. She could have been the one taking it. But you're gonna
he
tell
just
her.
wants it in her pants.
I hated that so much.
He just was trying to show off.
God, it was just annoying.
Dude was thirsty.
Well, and it's very interesting because he knows that she's Hugo Weaving's daughter, right?
Yeah, what's his real name?
Right.
Thaddeus.
Yeah.
Not his real name.
Valentino.
Valentine.
Valentine.
Threw me off against Valentino.
I did not listen to his name except for
First was
Hester,
Valentine.
Tom, and what was it? Windfart.
Windflower. But she just up and vanished like a fart in the wind.
She did.
A fight in the wind.
A fart in the wind.
Okay, on to her. Let's talk about her, right? So, I have more beef.
With
Okay.
Anna Fang?
Well, yeah.
But I have to, not necessarily with Anna Fang, but when she comes in, my beef begins, so that's why I used her as a segue. So, when...
Terrible acting.
Yes.
She's not an actress. Fun fact.
Oh, well, there you go. But anywho, they're out, they've eaten their Twinkies, they're captured by the guy that looks like the stapler guy from Office Space, but it's not him, which, counterpoint, this is just a movie with a bunch of people that are supposed to look like other people. It's like they, were like, here are the people we want, and they couldn't afford them, so they got people that looked like them, but that's a different point.
Yeah.
And
I got somebody later I want to point out.
yeah, and so Stapler Guy and Sassy Grandma captures them, and when they're trying to get out, right, he, opens it, and he's like, oh, the jump's only, 20 feet or whatever, and she's like, no, I'm injured, yada yada. Okay, so they get caught, right, and they're being bid on, and then Fang Lady comes in and rescues them, and beef number one, when Hester frees Tom with the gun and chucks it aside. There's freaking riots going on. You didn't think that might be helpful to just have the gun? Okay, so that's beef number one. Beef number two, then they start hopping all over these gears and shit to get to the spaceship.
It looks like a video game.
Yes, but she couldn't make jumps because she's injured. But now she's making them?
He was helping her, but yeah.
Oh, do not defend that. No.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, those were my beef patties.
Those were your beefs?
Mm-hmm. For now.
But while we're at that auction scene, did you guys see the auctioneer's hair?
Yes.
It was a toupee, because it clearly blew off. Did you look at his jacket at all?
I saw that it was
It was 100% buttons.
Oh.
All of it buttons.
I noticed that.
It looked like it was supposed to be fancy, right? But it also looked like it was kind of worn in. So
because it was all buttons.
That makes sense.
So I have my favorite quote of the movie from him.
Do it.
I wrote it down. Where is? Oh, here he goes. So she's talking, and then he says, "You're gonna make me self-pollinate."
Who said that?
That's amazing.
The auctioneer.
Oh.
Yeah. He says, "You're gonna make me self-pollinate." Oh god.
Weird.
Yeah, I thought he was great.
I liked him too. Sorry he had to die. Rest in
So
peace.
fast. So furious.
Mm-hmm.
What was the movie? No, I was thinking of Cats, where they do a terrible job at showing the scaling of the cats compared to the world. Now this movie, you realize how big and monstrous London is when they're walking through the tread marks of London. They're just in this massive ravine suddenly, and you're like, holy shit, these things are big.
Yeah,
and that's just one little tread from.
There were 8.
Yeah. Well, and I thought that was the cool part of the first couple of scenes when you see London chasing down the Bavaria city, right? And the Bavaria city to begin with was pretty small, and then it broke into even smaller pieces.
How many people do you think have died during that changeover?
So many.
Because it was just instant, and things just start flinging.
Yeah, and it's not the freaking wheels fall off at one point, so it's not like it was super new or anything. Not that London was new, but it was well constructed.
Well kept compared to the rest, yeah.
And so I thought it was crazy how massive London was compared to that. And then even further on, like when they see the Southies and like that look like Stapler guy and Crazy Grandma are in like that bug, which is still tiny compared to London.
It was like a centipede. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I loved a lot of the construct. Like, I like how unique a lot of the buildings look.
Yeah.
I mean, building monster car truck.
That's the thing. I wanted more of that, and I feel like this kind of movie, it should have had, like, the focus of the movie went away from what it actually was, I guess, is how I felt. But, because I wanted to see more of that. Even, like, the Southies they were talking about, how they, like, hunted people down and whatever. Like, we saw them for, like, 2 minutes, and they were gone. But I wanted to see more of that. I wanted more of it fleshed out in general.
TV series.
There you go.
Yeah. I really like that style of, I don't know, technology and construction. I'm super into when movies have their own universe like that. They're just different, and I really liked the construction. I don't know, the buildings and stuff, how they were. Like, they even talked about the other Predator cities, but it's like we didn't I would have loved to have seen.
Yeah.
Huh?
We didn't even get to touch into those. Like, is Munich one?
Yeah, like
Paris?
Hugo was talking about with that weapon they could take on the other Predator cities, and he was talking about like the defenses and stuff they had, and I was like, go kill one. I want to see you just like annihilate one, just because like you have the power. I want to see their buildings. I want to see what's going on, but it never happened. I don't know if like the books are more into it or whatever, but
I will say the author of the book said it was mostly everything like he like what they put on the screen, like image wise, was what he imagined in his own head when he was drawing it.
Yeah, because I liked it. I definitely liked it.
Like, the main difference, he said, was, so Hester, dear old Hester, originally, it was more like the Tyrion Lannister sort of shit, where his whole face was supposed to be disfigured. Most of her nose got cut off in the book.
Oh.
While in this, she had this scar, which I was like, honestly, that scar looks kind of hard to, like, make. Just, it was, like, such a small detail. But, you know, you got to get it exact every single time.
Yeah.
And it's not like you can just plop a whole face mask on. You have to perfectly put this, like, little...
I don't even know, like, when they showed how she got it, why does it look so, I don't know, different than what I would imagine just a knife cut being?
Yeah, because, like, I've had scars before, and they heal more than that.
Well, that, and yeah, she was young, so it would have healed a lot more than that.
Oh, yeah, I should have said, they're all, like, 17, 18 years old. So, Tom just must have left aviation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's been 10 years.
They're supposed to be younger in the books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry, Tim.
No, you're good. But, like, hers is, like, all, like, has spidering from it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the skin, like, maybe when she was running around after getting cut, it tore more. I don't know.
Maybe it got infected.
Yeah, but, like, a knife cut would be kind of straight with how she got hit. So I don't know how it became a lightning bolt, but...
Well, they're like, Harry Potter has a pretty cool lightning bolt on his forehead.
Yeah.
We got Tom, who looks like Budget Newt's commander.
Yeah. Oh, also speaking of jumping, so when they go out London's butthole...
London's anus.
She just jumps, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
This
yeah.
thing has got, like, moving parts in it and whatnot, and she just jumps and flops out. And then he gets pushed, right?
Yes.
But it's like, okay, first of all, her jump, she could have, like, landed on the side there and slid down, probably got caught in the gears and chopped up, whatever. But she made it out. And then he gets pushed. There is no way, with how that thing is moving and how fast it's moving, he didn't just fall straight through and, like, die. Like, how did he not just die? Like, I don't understand how because he gets pushed out, like, to the middle of it. So, that's, how tall that has to be to end up on the ground afterwards. There's no way. I don't understand. I don't know.
Well, so in the beginning scene, so we're going to just keep rolling back from that. I was so confused. How did Hugo Weaving's character just be like, I know exactly where she's going, and just drop down there? Like, he wasn't following her. The city's insane. He's just like, go into the butthole. Be right there.
I think the idea behind that was he knew where that led.
Yeah.
He knew where they went to, and he knew the ultimate, like, path for it.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't going to be able to get anywhere else. That's how I read it.
Yeah, and as I keep rolling backwards, I have a quote from Sam during the film. So when she stabs him and everybody's, like, freaked out, stabs Thaddeus, a.k.a. Hugo Weaving, Sam's just like, they didn't pay Elrond to die in the second scene.
I did say that.
That's great.
I made sure to write that this is a quote from Sam.
This is why people can't watch movies with me, because I'll spoil it for you. But I would hope you would know that. But yes, I do remember saying that. Because I was salty. Can't tease a death like that. If they had made him a Yoo-hoo actor, like Tom, then maybe I would be concerned.
We'll say Tom's in quite a bit of stuff.
Okay, sorry, Tom.
But we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
So, I have some more beef.
Oh my gosh.
I think this is my last beef patty, though, I think.
For now.
Yeah.
For now. Written beef patty.
I feel like I have yeah, that's true. Who knows what can come to me. But, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not beef. I just wanted to bring this up. So, Kate and Bevis. When they're going to go see what her dad's up to, right? And so all of the stuff has been stolen from behind the portrait at this point, and
they got the cat's cradle.
Professor what's his face is like, here's the cat's cradle, and it's 1,000 steps. Oh. And I just wanted to say, can y'all imagine that? Because that tower in Prague was like 300 or something.
Was that it?
It was 280.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
And
I was dying.
That was rough. So 1,000 steps, and they got up there like, woo!
You get dizzy going up those type of stairs
that seemed like people were way faster than they should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and
well,
they weren't out of breath. They weren't sweating or anything. I'm like,
no!
steps at a vertical staircase, like
you gotta look like Johnny Wilcox.
Yeah, well, because it was very similar to the tower that we went up, where there's like no windows. So, like when you come back down, you're dizzy AF, or I was.
Yeah,
going up is the same way.
Very was.
So, anywho, I would have loved to see them just gasping for air just a little bit when they
just a little bit.
Yeah. You know,
they get up there and they just push the top of the.
Woo, we're here, guys.
Oh, okay, sure. That's not heavy as fuck either.
I know. No, that's made of paper mache.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't want them to have to lift a stone, so we'll just paper mache this bad boy.
Well, yeah.
So Bevis and Kate are jacked AF and
they're just
super in fit.
They're just so in shape that
yes,
it's insane. Well, Bevis works down in the slums. Who knows what he does?
Okay,
he's a mechanic.
So maybe.
But what does she do?
No.
What does she do?
Yeah.
She probably does Pilates every day. That's
oh shit!
Without sweating, then she's not doing it right.
Okay, so what did you think of Windflower's fighting style? Where she just happened to have like 900 weapons on her?
Oh, yes.
Including her foot knife.
Well, yeah, you gotta have that.
You like the foot knife? I like how she like kicked it and stabbed a dude in the face.
I mean, you can't be rebel scum without a foot knife.
Yeah.
This is true. But yeah, then she had her crew of misfit aeronauts, and I was like, okay. We got Budget Geralt of Rivendell, whatever that is.
I thought it was Rivy, but
Rivy?
That's for a different...
Tim?
What?
Geralt of...
Rivia.
Oh, okay, so you're...
Definitely not Rivendell.
Yeah, no, you're just mixing
I was wondering where you're going with that, and I was like, I don't think that's correct.
Did you see that guy that looked like Budget Geralt?
Was it the guy that I thought was Feely?
Yeah. There was a dude with like long white hair that kind of looked like him.
Okay.
And I was thinking, do you think he tried out for The Witcher?
Talking about one of the pilots?
One of the pilots that was on Windflower's team.
Okay, I thought they were going for more of like a Thor look, but
it was just the white hair made me think that.
I thought he had blonde hair.
Maybe we're talking about different people, because I'm thinking of blonde hair guy too. Was there a white hair guy too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I missed him. He didn't do anything.
I don't remember seeing him.
Or I had sleepy eyes on, and I was like, yeah, that's white hair. I think it was just like the half up hair. Does he fly a
ship and die?
I think he does die.
Does he fly a ship?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think we're talking about blonde hair boy.
Thor, Feely, Geralt, whatever you think he looks like. There's more people that look like other people.
Hit us up on Instagram and Twitter. Who do you think he looks like?
Yeah, do that. Okay, so I told you I didn't have any more beef, but I do have beef.
Yeah, I knew you would. You always do.
So my favorite Tom scene was at the end when so they're going, right, to fly back to London to put the kill switch in, Medusa, and he looks over at the jackets.
Oh, God,
and like strokes them lovingly, and then he picks one and puts it on, and we're like, "Brah, you're not even flying the plane yet." Like,
right, like, well, you think like he gets that they're gonna be like, "Nice, go fly this," and it's like, nah, he just jumps on the ship.
yeah.
Okay.
So I wonder if like that was yet another thing from the book that didn't translate well.
Yeah.
In that. Like maybe it was symbolic. Well, obviously it was supposed to be symbolic, but maybe there was some other time when he had like donned the jacket and actually did something important instead of that scene, and they were just like, "We're gonna throw it in here," and
just slowly stroking it.
Yeah,
he's just remembering his time back at Top Gun.
Yeah, exactly.
He's probably a big
I thought
fan
that
of
was
Top
silly
Gun.
too. I really wanted to see somebody show up and go like, "Hey, where's my jacket?"
Oh yes.
Like, you just took this random person's jacket. Like, this guy's probably like, "Hey, it's going down. I'd like my lucky jacket now." And then he like dies, and you're like, "Oh well, shit. If he had his lucky jacket, I guess."
I know.
Well, can we talk about what was it, Shangra, the wall?
Oh yeah. We're just gonna call it the Shield Wall, which is what it was called.
But the city behind it was Shang.
It was like it was 2 words. It wasn't Shangri-La.
Kalamazoo.
I have
That's
it
in
written down
Michigan.
as like Shangu, Shanga,
Shingu,
something like
Shingguo,
that.
or something.
Anywho, this is like
Shangguo.
Shangguo.
Yeah, the village that's like behind the wall, right? And I just want to say real quickly that I will trade in Mija's house from Okja for one of those cave-dwelling houses in
Shangguo.
Shangguo. Wherever that was, I want to live there instead now.
Okay,
so this is my running house where I'm going to move to.
My thing was, that was a little underwhelming. Like, that was cool, but it was like, okay, so they kept talking about behind the shield wall, there's all these resources, blah, 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 which I guess is because they preserved, like, what they could back there.
Yeah.
But I expected to see, like, a large city and, like, all this other stuff.
I thought it was a pretty big city.
I mean, like, massive.
Like, okay.
Like, yeah, like, some, I don't know, castle city behind this wall and stuff, and then it's just like it kind of looked like just a village to me, but I guess it was bigger than that because it actually was. But I don't know, I was kind of let down by that a little bit with how the technology and everything was.
Well, I mean, Hugo Weaving was using a telescope. I would have expected them to have some sort of like cameras to zoom in, but no, he had a telescope.
Yeah. Well, I think that part of the reason why the village could seem underwhelming is because the wall is so massive, right? And then you have all these great mountains like nearby, but the town, village, city, or whatever is really kind of up on like the sides of the mountains.
Yeah.
And so there's like this whole big empty space in the middle, right? For like green space and stuff. Whereas if even there had been like the outskirts and then a city center, like I think it would have been more like, whoa. Yeah. But I still liked it.
Sam still wants to move there.
Just absolutely. I mean, yeah, and post-apocalyptic. I don't know. I might have to take off in a ship and go find myself a little wheelhouse, but because those things are dope.
Yeah, Tim would just be eaten by a predator eventually.
Oh no.
Well, and that's actually a good point though because of how massive London is. Like I know when it rolls up next to the wall, it looks kind of small. So maybe the village is larger than it seems, but they don't do a good job of making it look big.
Right, and it probably was a lot bigger than what I'm picturing, but they did a really good job of showing how large London was.
They ran out of time, man.
I guess so.
But yeah, you have to also think it took 3 shots. It was going to take 3 shots from that quantum weapon just to break through the shield wall. So it was extremely massive.
And at least thick-witted, yeah.
It was thick-witted. Also, they made short time of reloading that quantum weapon. I was
but you saw the consequences it was eating.
Yeah, I was like, Hugo Weaving is just like, nope, we're going all in. And then he was just going to drive right into it. And I thought what would have been cool is if like it would drove up into it and got stuck and filled in that extra hole that was just laser beamed away.
Yeah, and it now becomes the
like London and Shangguo like kind of combined into a single monster city. Monster city.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where were we? They keep forgetting to invite us to the production calls.
We could give them some notes. For sure.
But that wall, did anybody else think it looked like the gates to Mordor?
I could see it a little bit.
Mostly because this was also filmed in New Zealand.
That makes sense.
Peter Jackson and New Zealand. Name a more iconic duo.
He just likes them mountains, man. Who knows? Mm-hmm. If we ever go there, we might not come back. You don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
So there.
Sam will turn into a kiwi and run away.
There are worse things.
Go hang out with Tycho.
I'm gonna call myself American deity and just start running around.
An ancient one.
An ancient American deity. Did anybody else? Did you think? Okay, so they had this like kill switch device. Mm-hmm. Held it up. It just says USA, and I was like, I just face palmed. I'm like, of course the USA is part of it. Plugs it in. Medusa. Oh, here I am.
No, it was definitely
intentional.
Implied, and that was definitely something people would do.
Oh yeah,
is the USA that was definitely USA's key. Like,
well, 100%. The first one he showed, like that was all broken, also said USA, and I was like, huh, okay.
Well, they did say the 60-minute war. We had like the weapons or whatever. I thought.
Yeah, this
and
is
then
true.
Like I guess everybody else had similar technology, and that's what happened. Was we just shot it at each other.
Well, it was end of the world.
Yeah.
That old Flash animation of amazingness.
But I'm gonna say, like, unless they had bigger weapons, I don't see how that would eliminate so much.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like, unless you're like spamming that thing and you got tons of them everywhere, I don't understand how that, with how it was hitting that wall, would do that much destruction.
Well,
especially
I guess,
in 60 minutes. But.
Yeah, I guess when I originally thought that it was happening was that, yeah, there were a lot of them. There wasn't just one, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Then they should have said there was like some seismic activity where, you know how like we were Pangea.
Oh yeah.
And now
because the continents ended up shifting and colliding again, and that's where the land bridge came from.
Yeah.
The land bridge. I was like, the land bridge. What?
What do you mean? That's not a good
happened for these people that make rolling cities. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand. I want to know why they chose to go with moving cities like this. Like,
they needed resources.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That would
their
make
way
sense.
Of getting resources because they were sparse. So you travel around and grab stuff.
Yeah, when they first started, they were like talking about the salts on the little city. And I was like, oh,
that one I can't remember. Salts or something like that.
I thought it was just like salt, like sodium.
It was almost like a German word, but I can't remember what it was.
I'd believe it if it was a German word since they were Bavarian. But they just dumped that shit. I was like, okay, so they're worthless now? Like, isn't that what you're going for? And then they just ate it. Like, they just threw it.
I think they knew what would happen if they got caught, so they were... Like, he even says, dump the silos, and the guy's like, what? And he's like, dump them, because they needed it.
Yeah.
Like, all right. I also thought that little tread mark, or not little, but that tread mark they were coming up on, they were going to leapfrog over it, but then he just turns.
He turns and
man,
just...
Now you did.
I know. I was hoping, like, he would get it stuck, and I was like, that would be kind of pointless at this point in the film, since it's 2 minutes in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Elrond hasn't even got stabbed yet.
Elrond wasn't even stabbed yet. Now, the citizens of London just were like so excited to eat other cities.
Yeah, what the hell?
Okay, so I was thinking about this because I almost wrote this down as beef. But then, okay, if you go on like a cruise ship or like some other sort of moving vehicle tour, a lot of people like stand on the edge, right? And they want to see the sights. So to them, like London is just their new city, right? So I'm not saying it's the same as like going on a cruise, but I could see people like they're so out of touch, and maybe that was what it was.
Right.
They're so out of touch with what's going on that they're just like, yeah. But I don't know. I was trying to wrestle with that in my mind as well, because I was like, would that really make sense? Like, I don't know that I'd really be out there cheering, but if enough people do it, then enough people are stupid enough to follow them.
People just come in, hive mind sort of activity.
Yeah. But, so I wonder if when they first were getting established, they were like, everybody go cheer. And then that's just what they do now.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and I think part of it is they know, like, we didn't know this, but they know that those people, they're going to be, like, integrated into their system. They're not going to be killed.
Oh,
Definitely
that's
thought
true.
they were
Like,
gonna be
I thought the
massacred.
thing was just gonna be nommed. I
Yeah.
thought that bitch is getting shredded and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess, but they like bring the people into their society. So I thought, oh, okay. Well, I guess I didn't know that at first. So I could see why they would cheer since they know people aren't intentionally being killed.
Until you see the quantum weapon go off, and they're like, "Woo,
Yeah,
more
they're
death!"
cheering that on. We can't justify that behavior.
And then,
Yeah.
and then their faces when they get like they get started to get bombed back. They're like, "Wait,
Mhm.
that's illegal!
Yeah.
You can't bomb us. We bomb you."
Yeah.
They all run back to their English pubs. Which, by the way, if you pay attention, it's like the small detail when Tom is walking through
Mhm.
at the very beginning. There's like an old English pub.
Oh, nice. I didn't catch that.
I was like, nice. I like those small type of details.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of small details, do you think Peter Jackson made an appearance in this film?
Probably.
He just seems to do that.
He's probably like one of the
I
random
don't know what he looks
townspeople.
like.
They like push
He's a big
back.
boy.
He just is big and has curly hair.
Yeah. He's in
I
all three of the
still
Lord of the
haven't
Rings
done
films. I think he made it into all the Hobbits. I
Where
want to
is he
say
at in the Lord of the Rings films?
he's always just a small character, not a small character, but like
I was gonna say.
he's like Stephen Colbert's character in the Desolation of Smog, where you just see him for half a second.
Oh,
Like
okay.
in the town. Yeah.
Yeah. So like in the Two Towers, I always know like he's in the part with Helm's Deep, and they just kind of like bypass him. Return of the King, he's in Minas Tirith. I don't know where he is in
So
the
I wonder
Fellowship.
if he was just in like
Gotcha.
in London at some point.
He's probably just running around. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's easily scenes that he could just hop into.
hmm
He just puts mass amounts of people, and it's like, I'm gonna be in that scene.
Maybe he grabs a jacket. and
Maybe-
gets
oh,
in his
yeah.
own plane.
There's like rumors that his character is all the same character throughout Lord of the Rings,
That's cool.
Oh yeah.
like
He
that
made
Game
it.
of Thrones guy.
He made it continuity.
Continuous.
I can't work tonight. I'm sorry.
Speaking of Lord of the Rings, do you think that he just borrowed his set piece from Frodo's mithril, like his mithril coat? No, you guys didn't notice what Windflower was wearing
Yeah, I saw that.
when she
Oh,
got
I didn't
stabbed. She had chainmail on. I'm like,
No, it's a different color.
it was. It wasn't like pure white, silvery
Yeah.
white.
They just repainted it.
They just repainted it. He's just like, sorry, Elijah, gotta take it back.
Oh man.
But yeah, so I got one last quote from the movie
Okay.
from the historian himself,
Tom.
Tim. He just looks at Hugo Weaving's character and it's like, "You are history," and I was just like,
Good.
"Oh no, oh my."
There were so many bad one-liners. I don't even know how to say that right now. There were so many bad one-liners. There we go.
There you
go.
Brain is recalibrated.
Disney
Yeah.
Channel
Can't
original movie.
proceed.
That's what it's.
Anna was guilty of most of them, I feel like, but
Yeah, I can see that.
or Anna, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Holy crap.
yeah.
Well, I also had a problem with like the obvious flying around fight scene at the end where it was going to be left up to like a couple ships, but like yeah, of course the cannon was going to blow up the main fleet that would have easily destroyed London.
I know.
But then they're going and flying around, and so many of them died for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the one dude that gets shot down and blows up against the side. Okay, that makes sense. But the chick that kamikazes into the turret,
I loved
I'm
it.
pretty sure you could have just shot at it and then
No, it said her weapons
wrecked
malfunctioned.
somewhere. Did it?
Yeah, it said on her screen weapons malfunction because the dude with the long, like her like boyfriend, like White Flower's boyfriend dude,
Mm-hmm.
who survived, so he's probably in the other books. He's like, shoot it down. There's one turret left to go. But right before that, it shows that her weapons malfunctioned.
I didn't see that.
Small
I
details.
just thought that
Because
she
they
was
were-
damaged, and so she was like, "All right, well, screw it, I'm going in."
They all had the same like helmet and goggles going on, so it's
Yeah.
they were just panning between the characters. And I was losing track.
Right.
So I might be just making an assumption here that the weapons malfunction person was the one that crashed.
Yeah.
Because I can only make that logical like step.
That would make sense more than just, "Oh no, my plane's damaged. Here I go."
Here we go
Because
dying again.
Clearly, Windflower still had the ability to shoot stuff. 'Cause
I
she
know.
does it
Yeah.
Later
And
on.
they basically
So,
foreshadowed her death when she's like, I just want to blow away like a fart in the wind.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, that was different. That was
I know.
that was an obvious. But
What
I was
is
talking
that
about
called?
the chick that kamikaze.
I know. What is that called? Like where you...
Foreshadow?
No. Foreshadowing a death has like a special verbiage.
Oh, I don't know.
Foreshadow?
A death?
Anywho.
Foreshadowing
Anywho.
murder.
Foreshadow.
Foreshadowing deceased. Anywho, continue.
Anywho. So I want to get into the characters. You got Hester Shaw.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Hera Hilmer.
Okay.
The only movie I really recognized was Anna Karenina.
Anna Karenina.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. There's been like 50 versions of that one. So.
Well, the one with Keira Knightley.
Okay. The recent.
So the recent one. Then you got Tom.
Tom!
Who's Robert Sheehan. He is, I believe he's a main character in The Umbrella Academy.
Wouldn't know.
No, haven't seen it.
Umbrella Academy. I've watched that, but I don't recognize him.
He's also in The Misfits.
Okay.
The British, like, superhero show.
Yeah.
Which has the guy that plays Ramsay Bolton in that as well, so it's supposed to be really good. I've not seen it, but...
I did my classic watch the first episode, bailed.
Yeah, she's just like, nah, I'm not into it. I was like,
it's probably good.
yeah, they had 5 seasons.
Yeah.
And then he was also in Mortal Instruments. Not in any relations to Mortal Engines.
Prove it.
Mortal Engines.
You say prove it?
Yeah.
Maybe
okay, I cannot.
Wait, did they make a Mortal Kombat movie? Maybe he's in that.
Oh shit, we also got Mortal Kombat. They do. They have, I believe they're
slightly
2.
different.
They have a new Mortal Kombat movie coming out though.
So he's probably in that.
So pumped.
He's like, can I just be in every Mortal movie?
Exactly. So then we got Thaddeus Valentine, played by Hugo Weaving.
That's such a cool name.
Thaddeus.
Okay, on that real quick, how do you like their big reveal that he was her father, which was pretty obvious throughout the entire movie?
Once you showed them hanging out as parents.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I even got that vibe beforehand, but like, I don't know. It's just
You like me.
sweet big reveal. This movie felt like it was trying to be a kids movie, but like also for adults.
Yeah.
Because obviously
it's
there was
PG-13, so it's
right,
for
exactly.
teenagers.
But like, I think that's where it got mixed up a lot. But anyway,
Yeah.
continue.
So we'll go into his other daughter, Kate Valentine, who I wonder if in the books they get into like, we're sisters,
Maybe.
half sisters,
Probably, I would imagine.
and her name is Layla George. But I'm sure there are a couple people up in Ohio that are like, it's not pronounced that way. But I'm not gonna say much more. Then Anna Fang, Windflower, was by Ji-hye, a South Korean rock musician.
Oh.
So
She's used to rock it.
yeah.
She looks more that part.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to state that her glasses were just, I don't know what you're trying to do here. Are you trying to be like Morpheus?
I got that vibe, and I haven't even seen that movie.
Yeah, she's never seen The Matrix.
Get out of here.
You got
Not qualified for this podcast
other people.
anymore.
You're the second person this week that told me they've ever seen it. What is happening? Why? How is that possible?
Yeah, because it also has Hugo Weaving.
Oh, Lord Elrond's in it. Does he get stabbed?
First off, we're going to go back to Hugo Weaving, also known as the Lord of the Nerds. He's Elrond. He's Frick. Who's the Decepticon? The bad one. The big bad Decepticon.
I can't remember who it is right now.
Megatron.
Megatron. Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
Clutch.
See?
Oh, I thought you meant
redemption.
Okay, never mind.
I deserve to be on this podcast.
He's also like Red Skull and Captain America.
Word.
Yep.
He's V in V for Vendetta. Like,
one of my favorite movies.
So like he's Lord of the Nerds.
Yes.
Okay, going on to Beavis.
Wait. Did Kate play anything?
No.
And
she's dating Sean Penn. There's a good 31 years.
Yeah, I was
them.
like, he's honest. Oh.
Don't worry, they started dating 4 years ago. So she's 28, okay, so she was 24 then. So Beavis was played by Ronan Raftery. Beavis.
But yes.
So Sam, you would recognize him because you were looking at him and you're like, I swear I know him.
Yeah, he popped on screen and I was like, I know him. And then he kept being on screen and I'm like, I don't know him.
You don't. Unless you remember Fantastic Beasts and where to find them really well.
Okay.
He's Langdon Shaw. So you remember how... Is it John Voight who's in that movie?
Sure.
I don't know who John Voight is.
Oh, not John Voight then. You know how there's the newspaper company in the first Fantastic Beasts?
Yes.
And
yes.
the dad who owns it, he's the son that gets shut down. That's who Bevis is.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
I couldn't have pulled that out, but
Okay.
yeah, that's him.
And behind Hugo Weaving as my favorite actor from this movie is the guy who plays Shrike,
Okay.
Stephen Lang.
Stephen Lang.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him at all.
Do you know him?
No.
The villain in Avatar?
The Last
Not the Last
Airbender.
Airbender, the blue Pandora one, which
the
also
Yeah, I got
military
you,
dude.
but
the military
I still
dude.
have no idea.
We watched
Oh,
Terra
that
Nova.
guy.
Yeah. We watched Terra Nova a bunch.
He kind of looks like Rob Perlman, right? But not. No.
Uh,
Who's the guy that plays in Deadpool? Who's the guy that plays Cable? Is that
That's
Rob
Josh
Perlman?
Brolin.
Oh, he looks like
Josh
Josh
Brolin, yeah.
Brolin. They all look
Brolin.
the same.
Yeah.
They have that gray hair,
Yeah.
chinny chin.
But yeah, he's in Terra Nova, which we were big fans of. Got canceled after one season.
Crimson
R.I.P.
chins.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do want to go back to Hugo Weaving again. Dudesky had some nice flow going.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else had awful hair as far as the guys went. Like, Bevis had, like, gray highlights.
Who knows what was going on with Bevis? He should hook up with Silver from Oakja. Because they had the
Oakja?
same hair. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, he had some nice flow going and that perfectly trimmed
Mhm.
beard. I was like, nice. I have some flow.
London,
Has
they
fallen.
spend some cashola on their outfit and
Don't they?
hair and beards.
I do gotta say the costuming is kind of great and ridiculous at the same time. Did you notice like the guys in like the red coats?
Mm-hmm.
They were just funny looking because they still had the silly
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
top hat.
I thought it was cool though.
Oh, yeah.
It fit.
Yeah,
It looks
I
like a
liked it.
post-apocalyptic world.
yeah,
Ugh.
steampunkish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so as far I've gotten through the actors, and I just want to say my one last fun fact that I have not said yet.
Mm-hmm.
This was shipped to the cinemas as Squeaky Wheels.
Squeaky wheels.
What?
So like they had it under like an alias to get to the theater so people
Oh.
wouldn't steal it.
Squeaky wheels.
Squeaky wheels.
Missed opportunity. They should have called it that.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah, so Squeaky Wheels, the movie.
I'm gonna be laughing about that all week.
Sam loves it.
I
Love, loves
much. I'm gonna go look for a movie that's actually called Squeaky Wheels and make
It's
us
gonna
watch
be a
it.
children's show.
Probably.
Okay, so Sam, any last remarks?
Oh, my only last remark was I was wondering if Hans Zimmer did the music for this because the first couple scenes sounded like pirates.
I did not look it up, but he does have a guy.
Yeah.
He does have a guy that works closely with him that did Gladiator and Pirates with him, so it might have been that dude if it wasn't Hans.
Okay.
Also, I could believe that it was Howard Shore.
Who has a similar feel?
Well, just because of all the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbits.
Oh, Doy. Yeah. It was probably him. Anywho, it sounded piracy at the beginning. That was my
Yeah.
last note. Timothy?
Mm.
Any closing remarks?
Yeah, I'll say that I had high expectations, and the longer the movie went on, the less and less I was happy with it. But I think at the end it came out to be meh for me. But
Okay. So
Okay.
would you flip it on?
I think I'd still flip it on. Yeah, if you're just looking for something to watch. But
And you have Cinemax, because,
yeah, I mean,
That-
I would say don't pay for it at this point.
yeah.
So let's go back to the ye olden days, and it's coming across on FX. Would you leave it on? I guess.
I would have
I'd
flipped it on
probably leave it on.
FX. Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have left it on? Yeah. So there you go.
So I would flip it
You
on.
guys would flip it on.
Again, Peter
The
Jackson.
expectations are fitting in that section, but
Yeah. I like my Peter Jackson films. And Sam, what would you do?
I would flip it on. I liked it. I thought it was good. I do agree that like they could have done better at like some parts were super detailed, right? But then some parts weren't. And I think that's just the pitfalls of remaking a book, right?
I gotta say, they have an amazing
they
universe.
tried to fit too much into it.
Yeah.
Exactly. It had its universe. I was excited for it.
You gotta flesh it out. 4-season series. Flesh that out. HBO, get on this. Or Cinemax, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get this going. 10 episodes each. 40 episodes. You already got an ending, so it's not gonna be Game of Thrones.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless people already hate the ending of the books, then it is gonna be Game of Thrones.
Yeah. But I would still flip it on. I think it's a
Yes.
good popcorn flick, if nothing else.
That is true.
Yeah.
Sam loves her popcorn flicks.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's my turn. All right,
Can
we'll
I spin a
used category.
non-used category? Let us see.
Dun, 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 dun. Box office busts. I swear we got 4 more. Well, that's only 2 in a row. Sam, you failed. So box office busts
another
again.
bust. That's okay.
That
Busts
is
are
okay.
fun because, like this one, it doesn't necessarily mean it's terrible like Monster Trucks. Like, it was still entertaining. So busts are good.
Buster Brown. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, so catch us on Spotify and Anchor.
Yeah.
And you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes, we are so hip with the social medias.
So we have 2 of them.
And 2 platforms where you can listen to us.
Boom. Hopefully we'll get more on the platforms. So if you're an Apple person out there, one day we could come out to those podcasts.
Yeah. Maybe.
But yeah. All right, Tim, sing us out.
Sing us out. I got no singing in me.
No singing!
Oh,
the Flipper Flix.
Oh, Flipper Flix. There you go. That's all I got.
Okay. Flipper Flix. Flipper Flix.
Flipper Flix.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Bye.